Yo, how is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. What does the Bears turning down Mitchell Trubisky's fifth-year option mean for his future in Chicago? Is the writing already on the wall for him to be the backup in 2020? We're going to answer these questions and many more today in episode number 17 of Uncut. Thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. You guys have been loving these short episodes. I'm your host, Chris Malpe. I'm joined by my co-host, Zach Rimbos. He's the video producer here on the channel. Zach, how you doing, and how did it feel to hit 1K a couple days ago?
First off, I'm pretty good, but hitting 1K, it's a big milestone for us. We've been reaching for that. Definitely something that we've been aiming for the past 5 days of our support. We've gone up nearly 200 subs or so. So it's
Ridiculous.
Great. We're very thankful for that. Yeah.
Let's take a look at where we're at right now before we get into this. 1,099, so we're at 1,100 subscribers basically. But let's get right into it. We got a lot to cover today with Mitchell Trubisky. The first question I want to ask you, Zach, I before we got on this on the recording, I said that I had pre-planned a caption for my Instagram post because I knew that the Bears were gonna decline his fifth-year option. Is this something that you saw coming?
I did, sadly. I mean, I've always been a Mitch fan. Like, I've always vouched for Mitch. But I did see it coming. There was a lot of money on the line for that fifth-year option. And last year he regressed severely. And it's just something that, while it hurts, it's something that it makes sense. I see it.
Yeah, so in 12 games played in 2019, 3,138 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a 63.2% completion percentage. Not incredible, not terrible. That being said, he did take 38 sacks in 2019, and I believe that when Aaron Lemon came on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, he said that a fair share of those sacks were actually on Mitch for not making a read, for not getting rid of the ball. He was a Pro Bowler in 2018 after playing 14 games, passing for more yards than he passed for this year. He passed for 3,200 yards and 24 touchdowns in 2018. Obviously, that magical run that the Bears had that ended, obviously, with the double doink. But we've seen consistency issues with Trubisky throughout his career. It's something that's never really gotten better. Even in 2018, he was still pretty inconsistent. Zach, do you think any of that pans out in 2020, or do you think that's something that we continue to see?
In terms of Mitch, I think that it all depends. I mean, obviously it's open competition, and if he does win that job, I think that he's going to have a turnaround season if he wins that job and starts week one.
But will he be consistent enough to keep that and earn an extension is what I'm
exactly.
asking, I guess.
It's so hard to tell right now, honestly, just because of everything we've done this offseason. I feel like he has a lot more weapons now if he does take that job and could be more consistent for that reason. In 2018, everything just seemed to be going for him. In 2019, obviously, the offense as a whole took a step back, and I don't know if it's going to really recover after 1 year like that. It's hard to do that with an offense. So I'm not sure you can stay consistent. I think that if he does take the job, though, he would have a turnaround season for him. We'll see.
Look, I like the weapons that we have and all, but that being said, he's never been able to show that he's consistent with any weapons. So I don't really know on this one. And I also have to say, my goodness, Mitchell Trubisky would need to be spot on, crystal
Amazing.
clear,
Yeah.
perfect in training camp, not have a day off if he wants to win the job. Personally, I think the writing is on the wall for Mitchell Trubisky. Let's take a look back at the 2017 draft class, fifth-year options for top 5 picks. Myles Garrett drafted number 1 overall. He gets his extension after beating Mason Rudolph in the head. Trubisky gets declined. The 49ers, obviously, who he traded with. Solomon Thomas is going to get declined. Leonard Fournette, 4th overall of the Jaguars in 2017, declined. And Titans wide receiver Corey Davis is declined. Look, Zach, I got probably one more question for you. Obviously, we know we're heading into an open competition right now. as much as I don't want Mitch to start, I vocally supported Foles ever since we made the trade for him. I vocally supported anyone else basically since this offseason before we traded for Nick Foles. But as far as Mitch goes, and me being an athlete, you have to aspire to how hard he works, how good of a teammate he is, how much he wants to get better. But unfortunately, sometimes for some people, it doesn't really pan out the proper way on the field, and that's unfortunate because Trubisky says and does the right things. You really can't doubt him on that part. So I want to ask you, do you think, based off this decision by the front office, that the writing is on the wall for him, or do you think he legitimately has a shot in this open competition?
I think it's on the wall. I mean, when they brought in Nick Foles, obviously declining this option now, all the weapons that Nick Foles has now, if he does take that job, it doesn't look great for him. And sadly, like you were saying, like he's a really hardworking kid. And there's so many places that you can point fingers at, but it just comes down to who's a better quarterback.
At the end of the day, quarterback play is very important in Chicago. I mean, this city holds its players to such high standards. But if you look at how this progressed, and I'm going to agree with you, Zach, that the writing is on the wall, and I do think Nick Foles will take that job week 1. I mean, you look at the end of the season, Ryan Pace coming out in his press conference saying Mitch is the guy. We don't hear from Pace for about 2 or 3 months. He says at the Combine, Mitch is the guy. Following the Combine, they pick up Nick Foles. He still says Mitch is the guy. Following the draft, he comes out, or just before the draft, he comes out in a press conference and says it's an open competition. Following the draft, he comes out, doesn't give Mitch the money for 2021. It looks like the writing is on the wall, if you ask me.
I agree.
Yep, it's tough. But overall, I mean, it's tough, man. He hasn't been consistent enough. We traded up to pick him number 2 overall. It's really unfortunate, and it's really no shocker to any of us. So thank you guys for tuning in. Today we reacted to the Bears declining the 5th-year option on quarterback Mitchell Trubisky, the number 2 overall pick in the 2017 draft class. We also gave our thoughts about whether or not his job may already have been lost and some other things. So thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, we just hit 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to continue to go up. Do us a favor, subscribe, like the video. If you want more content from us, click that bell to get notifications whenever we post. You can also check out our website for some great columns, beareddown.com. You can find the links to our social medias down in the description, and you can follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Beared Down. Woo! Oh my goodness. Zach, any last words?
I'm excited for training camp. I'm excited. Let's see what happens with this going on. You can only hope that whoever it is going to be week 1, it's going to be the best year of offense we've seen yet.
I mean, I think ideally Trubisky would be the guy for all Bears fans, even for the ones rooting for Foles. I mean, ideally you want the young quarterback to come win and lead the team to the playoffs. But my last words are going to be this, It's sad, honestly. It really is sad seeing how this, I guess this situation with Mitch has progressed this offseason. He went from being the guy 6 months ago, and now it seems like he's on the outs and probably won't win his job. We'll have to see what happens in training camp, but as Zach and I said, the writing might be on the wall. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. It was a pleasure to be your host. Once again, my name is Chris Maltby, and as always, Chicago, stay safe and bear down. Peace.